DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Hey, what is up, mixers? Welcome back to another episode of the MIXINVIXENS. My name is Emily, also known as mlNikon, and let's say hello to our other Vixens. First up, we've got the lovely Lumi. Hi, Lumi.
Hi.
Hello, hello. So you got your haircut. Looks good.
I haven't cut my hair in a really long time, so I'm pretty. It's been a while since I've cut like female hair. Like I always do Nick's hair, but doing your own hair, it's really scary because you can't really see all the angles and whatnot.
Oh, you did it yourself. Okay, yeah, that would be quite challenging. It looks good though.
I can't go out and have it cut. I don't trust all that germ infestation out there in the world.
I hear ya. I hear ya. All right, and then we have the TheJuiceFairy Jen for Winston. Hi, Jen.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing this weekend?
Doing good, doing good. How's your weekend?
It was pretty good. Just chilling in the house, getting Christmas stuff ready, just getting my house Christmassy. I have way too many projects going on at the same time. At some point, I'm going to have to narrow it down.
Getting in that Christmas spirit. I love it. I love it. And then last but not least, we've got Rin. How you doing, Rin?
Hi.
Hello, hello. How was your weekend?
That was all right.
Are you getting in the Christmas spirit yet, or?
No. I'm getting over the flu or something, so.
Oh, you still got that going, huh?
Yeah, it's been about a week, but I think I'm starting to finally get better. I think a big part of it is I've been having trouble sleeping, and I need sleep. So
that could definitely hinder your healing for sure.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, that stinks.
It could be worse.
I'm a sleep person too. I'm not a very happy camper if I don't get any sleep.
And at least you're on the up. You're starting to feel better, and hopefully.
Yeah, I made a nice dinner. Nice dinner helped.
Yeah.
What did you eat?
I made a spinach Alfredo with mushrooms.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was tasty.
I'm making a ham and cauliflower gratin tonight, so I'll look forward to that.
Sounds like a weapon.
Sounds like sounds like a weapon.
Well, some people say au gratin, but I wanted to be pretentious.
Now you sound more, like something we could read.
Yeah, I felt like being pretentious and like a French chef, and it's gratin.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's get to Mixin talk. How did you guys enjoy this week's profile?
Yep.
I did.
I did as well. It was a lot of fun.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it. After I got to get rid of the lime, I was pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, I like that. Was it Jen that put the label over the picture?
Yeah, just green Gatorade.
Yeah, because I didn't do the cucumber lime thing or whatever it was originally either. So I just made it green, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. So I'm pretty.
I did go with a cucumber lime-esque recipe.
Oh, nice. Look at you being all.
Well, I do like cucumber lime mixes, but I don't like them just cucumber lime. You know what I mean? And usually another thing I do is I make them with some mint in it, and I didn't do that because it was more of a drink.
Yeah. I chose to do. I did apple melon.
Oh, that sounds good too.
Apple melon. Yeah, it's more melon forward, but it turned out. In fact, it turned out so good. You know, I talk about my wife being picky about flavors, and she only has a few flavors that she rotates through. She had me make her up a big bottle of it for herself.
Oh, that's when you know you hit it.
Exactly. When that happens, it's like, yes, success. So.
Did you make a cucumber lime, Rin?
I did, but there's a lot of other stuff in it too.
I made mine for an MTL pod system, so mine's a little different than it would be, but I put plenty of notes in there in case they wanted to convert it to a sub-ohm.
I saw that you did for a pod system. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, Rin, you want to go first? I don't think you've gone first in a while.
Sure. So I just kind of tweaked something I've been already vaping for a while. Let me find it. I have like everyone else's recipe except mine pulled up. That's great. So what? All right. So mine is pretty lime and cucumber heavy, but there's other stuff in there. So I did 0.5% of Capella cucumber, 0.25 of garden mint by SSA, 0.25% of lime by Flovora, 0.25% of ripe pear by SSA, and 0.5% sweet watermelon by SSA.
Oh man. No, I haven't. Is that garden mint? Is that like an herbally kind of like a natural mint flavor?
Yeah, it's like a little leafy. And I like the way that leafy mint pairs with lime. It reminds me of like a mojito type thing.
This looks really good. In fact, I was just single flavor testing some of these SSA flavors for tomorrow, and that sweet watermelon I'm super impressed with, and the ripe pear. Actually, the ripe pear is really good too. And I bet all together with this, that looks really tasty, Rin. What made you think of putting in watermelon and pear with it as well?
Like I said, I've been vaping this minus the cucumber. I think the pear and the watermelon was something I thought of to give the watermelon texture, add some pear in it. And I don't recall seeing it. I'm sure somebody's done it at some point, but it's not a combination I've seen really at all. So I was like, I wonder how these two would go together, because the ripe pear has a really nice texture. And it's similar to the Wonder Flavors pear, which I also really like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it.
Like fleshy, you know, like it's got a really nice texture to it.
Yeah, and texture is hard, in vapes. So
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and the sweet watermelon is more of a realistic watermelon to me. It's not like Jolly Ranchers or whatever. And the pear and the cucumber help give it that more realistic element to it. I don't know that I would call this a drink per se, but it's very refreshing and light.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's no Gatorade, that's for sure. Because Gatorade is very like artificial and
yeah. I don't like Gatorade, so and I've never had the cucumber lime one, so
I'm not complaining because this looks absolutely delicious. I'm gonna have to put it on my to mix list because this looks really good. I just need to get a hold of that garden mint. It's one of the SSAs I don't have.
It looks really good, and it looks really potent. Like it's a really probably flavorful mix.
Yeah, I would let it sit for like a day just to, because the Flavora lime is pretty strong at first, and then it kind of chills out a little bit. And then I think the cucumber needs to also chill a little bit. Unless you want it really lime heavy, which I've vaped it both ways, straight off mixing it and letting it sit, and it tastes fine. but it will be lime heavy at first.
Very cool.
Who wants
Yeah,
to go?
that Flavora lime is a good lime that I don't really see people use that much, but I really like it. It's like a very vibrant, almost candied lime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite limes. It does fade, which is unfortunate, but most of them do.
Yeah. Lime Wedge. Talk about fading. Lime Wedge by Flavora is actually my favorite lime, but you can only vape it for half a day before it fades away. Like it's just gone. But it's a really good it tastes like the rindy part like of a lime. Like it's very natural and really good, but it doesn't last. But yeah, most citrus flavors unfortunately do fade quite a bit. All right. Who would like to go next?
I don't mind going next.
What's going on over there, Lumi?
I don't know. Let's not even. That's why I jumped on with I'll go next, because Lumi is doing funky stuff. Luckily, we're not on gallery, because it would be hilarious if Friction would have just thrown us on gallery real quick just so that everybody could see. But I'm glad he didn't.
No, I'm just trying to make everybody laugh. Come on, don't put
It's
it on
working,
gallery.
but we're the ones laughing, and people in the audience are like, "What are they laughing at? What's funny? We want to laugh."
Oh no, you don't want to see what's happening when the camera's not on me.
Oh God.
I think they do.
Lumi after hours.
Yeah, I think they would like to know what's going on.
She was smacking her boobie.
Smacking what?
Her boobie.
Hmm.
Just so the audience knows, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them would have liked that. Sorry about it.
Let me pull up my recipe, because I don't have it up, because I wasn't ready, but I was jumping in here because I was trying to save us from the looms.
I mean, I have my recipe up. We could just skip yours since you're a slacker.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead, since maybe you won't do any funny business while you're actually on camera.
I mean, it'll give me time to think of what I'm going to do next when I'm back off camera. But here we go. MIXINVIXENS green drink. I did coconut VSO 1.04, honeydew VSO 3.24, kiwi VSO 0.28, Tira, shut up, yogurt drink, vape train at 1.12. Friction has the old one saved, which is 1.22.
Ooh,
So let me look at this.
wow, yeah, that looks good too. What's that kiwi like from VSO?
It's in there super low. I was kind of just hoping it would like bring a little bright splash to the coconut honeydew. And of course, it definitely brightened up the yogurt drink and added more of like a lime essence to it, opposed to it tasting so lemony, but that could also be in part of the honeydew.
Right.
But like right off the shake, there's a really nice like coconut flow through it. And Nick said it tasted like a pina colada with the cheap fruit punch at parties that everybody loves so much. And I don't know what any of that means. So
it means that it's probably delicious, because people at parties love those punches.
Yeah.
1.04. Does that mean that the coconut VSO is light or strong or what?
It's pretty light. Now that it's steeped for the day, the coconut kind of the coconut kind of went to a back note, or it could just be that I just woke up and I'm not tasting it.
Gotcha. Usually I try to keep coconuts low because sometimes they get soapy. So what I'm hearing is that this is not soapy.
Yeah, no. VSO, you can never go wrong with it. And he's doing like a thing where all of the average percentages, except for the first line of flavors that was out, use typically around 2%. Like that banana, I've kicked it up to 4%. I got no runts.
Oh, cool.
Very
Good
cool.
to know.
But yeah, that coconut milk, it's kind of like a coconut milk from the coconut with like a hint of that shaving from it's phenomenal.
It looks like it with honeydew and kiwi and yogurt drink, and then you throw a little bit of coconut in there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good.
Does.
Hopefully all these flavors are available.
I just love that yogurt drink. Like I could vape it on its own all day. Like, it's just
When I was hunting it down, and I pulled down smoothie base and yogurt drink, and I love smoothie base, but yogurt drink just had that more like artificial like potency to it that I was like, I have so many authentic flavors, let me get that artificial.
yeah, because it's Gatorade, right? You got to get that that artificial kind of juice. Like
it definitely tied it together more than smoothie base, which you are welcome if you want to keep it more authentic to go with smoothie base in there.
Yeah, smoothie base is another good one. Yeah, but it is different. It is more authentic. Or yogurt drink does have that sweeter, kind of more artificial, which has its place for sure, especially stuff like this. So cool. Well, thank you for sharing. That looks great. All right, Jen, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
This time I am ready. So I did a kiwi cucumber lime for
Ooh.
pods. So I guess we all went kiwi and cucumber, kind of.
I almost went kiwi. I didn't do kiwi, but I thought about it.
Well, I did. And I used Flavor West kiwi. Why?
Yes.
Because it's a candy kiwi. Yeah. More candy of a kiwi, less authentic, but it has some good body feel to it. So the kiwi in here provides a nice watery kiwi with a nice tart note that I felt was really good, played really well into a Gatorade. And it has a bit of texture, but it's still watery, if that makes any sense. I mixed it with, I use FA cucumber. I know that FA cucumber is more realistic than the Capella cucumber, but the Flavor West kiwi already had enough candied notes that I didn't want to add too many candy notes, make it a coil gunk or anything like that, because I was going for a pod recipe. So I did boost my percentages up. My kiwi's at 6%. Normally I know that that's not too high because on that Flavor West kiwi, I have used it at 5% most of the time. But with the rest of these flavors, I used a cucumber at 2%. And I know that sounds insane, but for a pod, it works. And it's not like an upfront in your face cucumber mixed in with that kiwi. I used green lime from Mullenberry. I went with that instead of the SSA because the SSA is a bit sweeter, but the green lime from Mullenberry is like a green slushy type of lime. So it's also on the candy side. It's not as sweet as the SSA. And it falls back a little bit, but the notes that fall back are the right notes to fall back because the lime is still present in the mix. It's just a little further back, and that's after 2 days steep. So at one day it was already vapeable perfectly well. The first day it was you had a little bit too many of those lime riney notes in it for me, but everybody knows that I taste those bitter notes. But on the second day it was perfect, and then on day 3 it's fallen back a little bit, but it's still there. And that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a lime heavy upfront note. I was looking for hints of lime in it. And then I used FA pear at 1%. I used the FA pear to bring in some body, and it kind of glues together the cucumber and the kiwi. It kind of binds everything together at that 1%. I don't know what's going on with my camera. What in the heck? Did it happen again? Hold on a second, guys. Am I gone? You guys can hear me though, right? You see me now?
No.
Well,
Nope.
shit.
Uh-oh.
Did I break the camera with my shenanigans?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the SSA lime, is that the sour lime you were talking about? Is that the only one they have?
No. Yeah, the sour lime.
Sour lime.
Why can't we see me? I'm all upset now. Well, you guys can hear me and I'll work on my visual in a little bit, but my camera's not working.
Okay.
Something just went crazy. So since you can't see me, but you can still hear me, the pair lined it up. Now, the total percentage on this mix is 12% total, and that is for a pod recipe. I am using it on a Chroma Z, which of course my camera wouldn't work right when I need it to, so that you guys can see what a Chroma Z looks like. And then even my camera on my freaking computer isn't working on it. Maybe I touched a button. You think I touched a button?
I mean, you could have touched a button. I mean, it's possible that you touched a button.
I touched a button.
Bryn, what do you think? You think she touched a button?
I'm pissed. Where's my camera? God dang it. Shit.
I mean, this is just like the daily computer issue. It's always something.
It's always something.
Always something, but not when it's my turn to talk.
Normally, it's always something like right before the show.
I'm back. Look,
That's
I'm
it.
back. I'm back. You can see me.
Hey, she's back.
Hey, let me not touch anything. Something's wrong with my camera. The little light keeps flickering on it. So this is the Chroma Z. It takes a Z coil at 0.8, which is the same coil that used to go inside my Z-Bip. And those things were not very flavorful in the Z-Bip, but something they've done differently in this pod. So it's a true MTL with the airflow that I can actually get really good flavor out of this thing. And it's still really direct mouth to lung. So at these percentages, they were perfect. I tested it after I made it in this at half the amount, and it worked perfectly as a sub-ohm. And it wasn't overpowering anything. With the MTL recipe, I didn't add any sweetener because I find that with MTL recipes, if you use sweetener, you taste sweetener up front and you taste a flavor in the background. But with sub-ohm, sometimes you can add sweetener. So I did 0.25% of sweetener in my sub-ohm when I was dripping it. But other than that, I put really detailed notes so that everybody can read those, because that way I wanted it to be an MTL, but I also wanted to give the option for anybody who wanted to make it for sub-ohm.
Yeah, I see that. You went really good with the notes.
I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't this good.
4 flavors?
4 flavors. Yeah, MTLs, I tend to go 4 flavors, and then after I go less flavors whenever I do an MTL kind of recipe or a pod recipe. And I was just really surprised that even cutting it in half, it was still good for my sub-ohm.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can add to a kiwi, cucumber, lime. You know what I mean? You'll ruin it if you start throwing stuff at it.
Mm-hmm. It looks good. It looks real, this looks good as well. I'm impressed with everyone's mix. It's very refreshing.
I'm very, very impressed with this. It was a nice surprise that it turned out that well. So I thought I was going to have to tweak it a couple of times, but I'm telling you, on the first hit, I mean, I mixed it one time, let it sit, came back the next day to test it to see what else it needed. It needed nothing. So then I did nothing, and I left it at 4 ingredients.
Don't have that green lime by Mullenberry, so I haven't tried it. But you said it's a little more like authentic of a lime?
No, it's like a green slushy or one of those green popsicles, kind of lime. So it's candied, but it's not sucker kind of candy. It's more like a slushy or those green things that they give kids in the summertime, that icicles. Yeah, one of those.
Nice.
Where it's a little bit watery, but it's definitely limey. But it's not a Kool-Aid, and it's not a lollipop. It's not that sweet, but it's there. It's got that flavor, that basic flavor.
Perfect for a Gatorade.
Yes, it was perfect for a Gatorade. And then the tartness from the kiwi gave it the tart, salty notes that Gatorade sometimes have. I wasn't going to tackle that, but it's tart and sour enough that it just worked.
So you would suggest, if you're going to sub-ohm this, to just cut everything in half?
slam in half. That's what I did. I just made it slam in half and it worked perfectly. I
Nice.
did add 0.25% sweetener because the sweetness did not come through as well in a sub-ohm as it did in the pod.
Okay. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, this looks good. Thanks for sharing. All right. I guess I am last. Where did my mix go? Okay, that's okay. I know it. So like I said, I went with I wanted to do green. I didn't want to do cucumber lime. And so I went with an apple melon. So for my main note, I did Capella Green Apple Hard Candy at 6%. It's a pretty weak flavor, so you can even do 8, go up like 8-10% with that flavor, but I'm backing it up with another green apple, so I only did 6%. And then I did 1% of Wonder Flavors Green Jolly Candy because it is just a little bit more tart than Capella. Like Capella's got like the mouth feel and like the flavor, right? But then Wonder Flavors kind of has the feel and like the tartness, like the brightness that I wanted. And then I did to back it up even more, I did 2% of Flavora Sour Apple because I wanted to. The melon it's still melon forward, but like the melon was walking all over the apple, and I wanted to just punch it through, but I didn't want to lose the melon because I like it being melon forward. So I went with the 2% Flavora wild melon, and then I did 2% Flavora sour apple. Sorry. But then I also did 2% Flavora wild melon as my melon note, just because I was gonna use SSA melon. Actually, in a couple of my versions, I tried SSA melon. Yeah, it's a really good melon, don't get me wrong, but it just isn't as like candied and like juice like wild melon is. Wild melon just had a little bit more of a sweeter kind of artificial taste to it. And then of course 0.5% of Capella super sweet because I wanted even more sweetness. I mean, because it's a Gatorade after all, which is nothing but sugar water. And it's really good. I'm pretty proud of it. It's pretty tasty.
Apple and melon is such a good mix. I almost went with green apple and watermelon myself. And then I decided I was going to do watermelon, kiwi, and apple. But then I decided to leave the watermelon out. So that's such a good mix. I'm wondering if those apples are giving it any harsh notes.
Well, it's hard to say because I have a throat of steel, but it's not harsh to me at all, even freshly vaped. It's not harsh. I think the wild melon and the super sweet kind of calm it down. But I think I was, like I said, I thought about doing kiwi as well, but I already have like a kiwi cucumber melon mix. And I just wanted to be completely different, and I don't mess with the apple that much. And I don't know why, because I really like it, and it's like one of the first flavors I started vaping with was an apple mix, and I don't know, I just don't. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do apple melon. It just sounds like a good mix, and it turned out to be a really good combo. So
yeah, I don't mess with apple enough either, and anytime I do, I end up liking it. But I think it's because a lot of the times when I mix an apple, it ends up being a little bit harsh for me. But I mean, I think that I've successfully used apple before without being harsh. That's why I asked that, if it was harsh to you, because I don't remember which ones are harsh and which ones aren't. So I'm always throwing them together, and I always forget to write a note which one it is that I don't vape well. And it's more than one. It's just there's just a few that aren't harsh to me. So that looks really good. I would really like that. I would probably bump that in half and put it in my pod as well. I mean, I would bump it twice as high. Or maybe 0.75%.
let me know how it turns out if you do it and put it in a pod.
Well, I made a 30 mil of this that I'm vaping on right now, and that's gonna last me a while because I only use my pod system or my MTL device like during the day when I'm working or when I'm out and about and I don't feel like lugging around anything big. So this will last me a while, and I hate to have too many mixes around, but I'll definitely try it sub-ohm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, one of the versions I had too was I made like 3 or 4 different versions of this, or no, I made 3. I was gonna do the 4th one, but the version 3 was so good. I'm like, I don't even need to do another version. But anyway, one of the versions, a couple of the versions I did, I had added in 1% Capella hibiscus to it as well, because Cap hibiscus is really good at like making things like sticky sweet, you know, and it's got like but it didn't need it, and it was the one without it just was a little bit more Gatorade-esque, whereas hibiscus isn't really that floral of a flavor, but it did make
Well,
it.
I also don't find Gatorade to be extremely sweet, so you probably did the right thing by not making it super sweet, because otherwise it would have been more of a juice than a Gatorade. Gatorade is kind of like in between a water and juice.
Yeah, so
I couldn't even say anything about Gatorade being anywhere near water unless you're going for like Gatorade Zero. But even Gatorade Zero, it just tastes fully artificially crappy.
yeah, Gatorade's really sweet to me, and maybe it's because I've been off sugar for so long, but like to me it's like nothing but sugar water. Like it's a real sweet.
Yeah, I love Gatorade. I'm a Gatorade drinker.
I started buying the Gatorade Zero, and because I don't really care for the sugary, but you can just taste all of the artificial crap in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I vape regular Gatorade. I don't like the G2 because it's like too sweet for me. I find that the artificial sweetener one is sweeter than the one that isn't artificial sweetened. But I mean, I find that to be the case even with like a soda, where they're sweeter with the artificial sweetener than the natural ones.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. All right. Well, we had quite a few people play along with us this week. 8. We had 8 people play. So that's fun. So let's go through those. And you guys have them pulled up so you can help me out.
Yeah, I got some pulled up. So who wants to do Jeannie Sins? You want me to do that one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, let's pull her up and let's talk about it. So she did a lemon limeade. She used cactus inawera at 1%, citrus mix from FA at 2%, Florida key lime FA at 1.5%, juicy lemon Capella at 1.5%, lemon lime soda from SC Wonder Flavors at 1.75%, lemonade clear VTA, lemonade lime cordial VTA. Now in her recipe, I don't see any steep time that she put in it. I personally, I've never tried that lemonade clear from VTA. I know that lemonade lovers love strong lemons and limes. So this to me looks very, very strong lemony, because that cactus probably breaks it up some, but that citrus mix from FA at 2% is a pretty strong citrus mix at 2%.
And that lemonade clear is really strong as well. And 3%. Yeah, this is very, very limey.
I feel like this is what you would get for if you like took 7 different lemons, added sugar, and just bit into them. This just looks insane, especially it's a lot of lime.
But lemon people and lime people, I'm not one of them, for some reason like their lemons and limes super strong, and this looks like super strong. It looks like it would definitely need, if I was if I was going to mix this, I would definitely give it at least 5 days steep, maybe a little bit longer, just to
Yeah.
get it to calm down some.
Good.
And I wonder what the harshness factor in these are, because I know that the citrus mix from FA has some alcohol notes in it. So I know that that one tends to be harsh sometimes. I don't know how much of an alcohol note it is, but it does have some alcohol notes in it. The cactus from Inawera probably is making this mix, rounding it out around the edges. Juicy lemon from Cap is a candied kind of lemon, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, it's a little more on the candied side.
So that one's probably sweeter. And lemon lime soda from Wonder Flavors. Can somebody else speak on that one?
Yeah, that's a really another sweet one too. It tastes like a soda, like the 7-Up, a flat 7-Up, basically. You know.
Yeah, so those two are probably between those three mixes, they're probably calming down. That Florida key lime definitely for me needs 5 days, no doubt about it, to get rid of the rind notes. I've never had the VTA lemonade clear and the VTA lime cordial. That one is not too candied, is it?
Yeah, I think that's more bright and natural, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too. It's bright and natural. So this is pretty interesting. Somebody that loves lemon will adore this recipe because it is going to be in their face. The problem with it is, like for somebody like me, this would totally give me vapor's tongue immediately because it's so lime and lemon strong. But that would just, that's just me. Maybe I should have picked another mix.
Go for it.
I wasn't expecting to see all those limes, so I was like, whoa.
It's a lot. Like I'm all about layering, but damn, that's a lot of layering.
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe I should have picked another one and let somebody that can do limes do some better than that.
And figure out like what why she used so many different lemons and so many different limes, like why the crazy layering.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is. I do know that it probably will steep down within 7 to 10 days. It might blend into a wonderful juice.
Mm-hmm.
If you add enough if you throw enough sweetener in there, it'll definitely be a commercial style juice. That would be a 1% sweetener for me.
Or tag team with EM and sucralose.
Yes, probably 0.5 of each would probably throw this mix into the next level.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks for playing, Jeannie. All right. I'll do the next one. It's Brett, aka Rum Pirate, on ELR. He did a cucumber lime gator drink. #MV. And he did 3% Capella cucumber, 1% lime Tahiti cold press, 2% Persian lime by Vape Train, 0.7% Liquid Barn sour, and 0.5% Capella super sweet. Nice simple mix. I like the two limes he used, the Persian and the cold press. With that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that Persian lime is a little. Is that the one that's a little zesty and like bright and natural?
A Persian?
Yeah, the Persian.
Yeah, it's like a little rindy. It's kind of like the lime wedge on crack.
Yes, that's right. It's good, but I think it's a good mix with the lime Tahiti cold press, because the lime Tahiti cold press is kind of more fleshy and more like it's still natural, but it's not like as bright and tart. So I think those would be the two good limes to use together. And then super simple with some sour and some super sweet. Looks good. All right.
Do you want me to do the next one for Joni? I've got it pulled up.
Sure.
All right. So Joni did green juice. She did Fuji apple at 1.25%, Kiwi double from TFA at 2%, Kiwi from Flavor West at 3.5%. Did she look at my recipe? Pear from FA at 1%. Just kidding. And taffy base, real flavors at 1.5%. So the Fuji apple in this is an apple juice, and she did call it green juice. So that looks pretty good at 1.25%. Now, it's interesting that she combined the Flavor West kiwi with the kiwi double from TFA. Flavor West kiwi, like I said earlier, is like a candied kind of kiwi. TFA is double, is also, but it has more juice notes. It's juicier. And then FA pear at 1% is a wonderful place for it to sit and bind the apple and the kiwi together. And that taffy base, can somebody else speak on that?
I bet it's giving it like that kind of syrupy, like sticky sweetness that Gatorade has.
Well, actually, in her notes, she did write taffy base to hopefully make it a little full. Yeah, because those are all juices, the ones that she has in there. And then the super sweet at 0.5%. I mean, it looks good.
This week's profile is like a perfect use case for, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Shindo had this theory. You remember Shindo. God rest his soul.
He ain't dead. He just vape dead.
He's vape dead. He had this theory that all three things green just work together. And like we all love our mixes this week. And all these people played along. So they've all obviously loved their mixes this week. So I think it's a thing that like if you put things that are green in a mix together, it can't not turn out delicious.
You might have to test that theory one day.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm going to further test that theory myself.
Make sure whenever you do this, you pick up Flavor West Green Engine and tell me what you think.
Oh God, what's Flavor West Green Engine?
I think it's their duplicate of Green Machine.
Still don't know what that is.
It's like a smoothie drink that you get from the grocery store. It has like kale, apples, bananas.
It's like a healthy drink, like a naked.
Oh, but you got bananas in there. See, so you ruin it.
Bananas aren't green unless they're green bananas, and then that wouldn't go well.
That wouldn't. You gotta stick with the whole foods. The kiwi, the apple, the pear,
Pretty sure there's some pear in there too. There's like 27 different fruits in there.
That's crazy. Maybe
most of them are green.
Maybe that. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I definitely think we should test this theory out more. All right. The next person that played along is Darcy. And she is Darcy82 on ELR. She did Citrus Lime Twister. And she used 0.5% Indoor Cactus, 7% TFA Citrus Soda, 2.5% TFA Key Lime, 2% TFA Lemon Lime, Capella Super Sweet at 0.5%, and 2% TFA Sweet and Tart. I've never used citrus soda up that high before, but it is a really nice, sweet kind of artificial, like citrusy flavor.
I'm telling you, people that like their limes and their lemons,
really?
they like them high.
They like them high.
I mean, this isn't these two mixes that we've touched on. I mean, this scared me too. When I saw it, the citrus soda at 7%.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I've seen people that like limes and lemons go really high with them. So
yeah, lean into that flavor. And
yeah.
I don't think I have TFA lemon lime. Is that anything similar to Capella's?
No. I mean, it's similar, but it's not like Capella's. It's actually a little more citrusy, a little more limey.
Okay.
It's a little stronger. It's a little stronger, a little less candied, but it's not bad. It's not a bad flavor. And she did drop that 0.5 sweetener in there that could pretty much throw it to the next level. Now, another thing, that sweet tart. That's an interesting addition right there. Mm-hmm. I wonder what that did to it. I wonder if it made, and she did call it a twister. So I wonder if she was making like a twister pop with it. I don't know. but it's
Wow.
pretty interesting.
Really interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen sweet and tart being used in a while either, and I actually really enjoy that flavor.
I do too. I usually keep it between 0.5 and 1%, so it is a little bit high at that 2%. But she does have some really strong lemons in here, so that I don't want to judge any flavors when it comes to lemon or lime, because I'm not the person to judge lemon or lime.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for playing along, Darcy. Okay, so the next one we got by Amber. And on ELR, she goes by Amber K. It's an Amaretto sour lime cocktail. And she did 1.5% one of the flavors Amaretto, 0.75% Inaware Cactus, 1.4% Juicy Lemon by Capella, Persian Lime by Vape Train at 1%, and Sour by VSO at 0.3%. How is that VSO sour? Is that a good is it kind of give you a tanginess, like a sourness?
No idea.
I've not tried it.
Anyone tried it?
I can't try anything VSO, lemon, lime, sour, any of the above that might contain lemon. So
I have to pick that up and try it and see how sour it is.
But it's an interesting combination with that Wonder Flavor Amaretto. How cherry forward is that Amaretto?
It's pretty it's pretty, to me anyway, pretty cherry forward.
Compared to, let's say, the one from FA, the marzipan. How does it compare to marzipan?
You know what? I would say that they're probably similar as far as like the amount of cherry note that you get. To me,
It looks pretty interesting. It looks pretty complex. I don't know some of these flavors, but it looks like a pretty complex recipe of lemon and cherry and lime. So, I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm just happy all these people played along with us this week.
Yeah, I know. That's really awesome. It must be a pretty popular profile. Amber K is actually in the chat, and she says it's got cherry flavor, but the Persian lime evens it out. And I can definitely see that, because the Persian lime is as bright as the cherry flavor, if not a little bit brighter, and so it can kind of tamper that cherry note down a bit. But still, I bet it is delicious in with that lemon and lime.
Yeah, I actually like the combination of lemon, lime, and cherry. I just don't know these particular flavors. I'm just glad that I'm glad that this recipe, this brought all the girls to the yard, and some of the boys too.
speaking of boys, I got V-Dog's recipe.
V-Dog. All right.
V-Dog.
Be it.
All right. So enough. He did coconut extra TPA at 0.10. God damn, these normal numbers.
Thank God that he used a reasonable percentage, because when you first said that, I was like, oh God, what did he do? But then you said 0.10. I'm like, okay, that's a acceptable amount of coconut extra.
Use Cucumber by Capella at 2%. Lime Tahiti cold pressed FA 2%. Tart and Sour LA Lorenz, aka Voldemort, at 0.20. And WS23, how do I know that one? Question mark. At 0.10.
That's awesome. So he made a cold recipe.
Oh.
And then we got notes. We got notes and descriptions and descriptor words and whatnot. So December 7th, 2020, TPA coconut extra for electrolytes, question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Capella cucumber is sweeter than FA according to notes. Lime Tahiti is the only lime in my stash. considering adding tart and sour near the last half of this first iteration. WS23 helps me believe it is some kind of drink.
Yeah.
More notes. It's not awful. In fact, surprisingly refreshing. I never had the actual drink to reference this, but from... dyslexic reference this from, but I think the lime and cucumber are balanced enough to get the idea. December 9th, 2020 update added 2 drips LA tart and sour to the remaining 13 ml. It actually changed the blended the flavors in a very noticeable way. Both versions are good. This was a fun mix to build.
Yeah, it actually looks very good. That lime Tahiti cold press is a drinky kind of lime.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really good choice for lime. So it's a good thing that that's the lime that he has in his mix. And then that WS23 at 0.10 gives it enough coolness to make it a drink, but not too much to make it a frozen drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a touch. Like this has been chilled in the fridge. It looks good.
Yeah. And that tart and sour emulsified everything. I bet you that it just brought everything together into a mix.
And I love that he added coconut extra for electrolytes. That's
For
all.
electrolytes. I didn't even hear that part.
Yeah, notes. TFA coconut extra for electrolytes? Question mark. 1%, you know, so it's just a little bit of. I bet it gives it like just a little bit of richness. Yeah, I like that. That's great.
It probably gives it a little bit of creaminess too.
Yeah. Oh, and V-Dog's in chat. Good job, V-Dog.
I think I would try this. Minus the WS23 since it upsets my stomach. Huh?
Even with the lime in it, you would try it?
Well, she would. I don't know how the Persian lime. I don't know that the Persian lime would be a good one for her to try, but
no, he uses cold press.
I have lime Tahiti cold press, and I believe it made my throat incredibly sore. But I'm almost still tempted to try it.
Maybe with the other flavors in it, and with the tart and sour, it'll.
I know that the lime Tahiti. I know that the tart and sour and the lime Tahiti cold press are not actual limes, but the tart they're both synthetic, so you should be okay, maybe.
And I think this might be a little harsh from my bitch throat.
Maybe.
As Concrete would say about one of my favorite mixes.
All right. So next up we've got Sam. Good old Sam. Always count on him to come through with the recipe. He actually used, instead of ELR though, I think this is Sam, right? He used the vaping community's new recipe site. And he called his Haterade, which is funny because that's the name of the show this week. And he did African horn cucumber at 1.5%, 1% SSA cactus, 0.5% Inawera cactus lime, 4% VSO honeydew, 2% Capella lemon lime, and 0.5% Capella super sweet. A whole bunch of flavors that I am not familiar with how they would all work together, but looks really interesting. Is that SSA cactus, is that similar to like what Inawera does as far as juicing things up? Has anyone tried it?
I haven't tried that one. I have tried the one from Molenberry, but not the one from SSA. So that's a good question. However, I do find it to be a cheat to use the African horn cucumber.
Why?
Because it's not actually a cucumber, but it's okay because he was whining and complaining about making a cucumber lime, so he had to find something. He didn't want us changing the picture either so that it wouldn't be cheating. So he found something that he could use that he could call a cucumber that's not actually a cucumber.
That's funny. Okay, I see what you mean. That is cheating. Sam.
Especially for somebody who said we were cheating by changing the name to green drink. I have to pick on Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks good. And then the cactus lime, that's a good mix too. And then with the Capella lemon lime, you can't go wrong with Capella lemon lime. Like that's like the perfect like Gatorade lime like flavor, because it's so artificial and sweet. So it's good. Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, someone else go. I'm tired of talking.
I can do the last one. I think it's our last one.
Yep.
For Drip Drop Vape, Cucumber Lime. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So they use 0.3 percent Apple Tart Granny Smith by TFA, 0.65 Cucumber by Flavora, 0.5 by Fuji Apple Flavor Art, 0.65 Juicy Lemon by SSA, 0.85, a lot of lime Tahiti cold press by Flavor Arts today, and then 0.5% of Flavor West sweetener, or it's sucralose.
Yeah, that
I'm sorry, I was studying the recipe.
yeah, I know.
Apple Tart, Granny Smith, TFA.
Looking at it.
At 0.30%, it's a really good percentage to use that Tart Granny Smith apple.
Yes.
Any higher than that, it gets a little bit perfume. Well, any higher than 0.5 to 0.75, it gets a little perfumey. But 0.30 sounds really good. The Flavora cucumber is kind of realistic, but different than FA's cucumber, right, girls? Did you happen to agree with that?
Yeah, it's it's a little bit more like full bodied, like and fleshy than
Right.
FA's, like but it is a very natural, authentic cucumber.
And I would say that 0.65 is probably a good percentage for it. The Fuji apple is a great addition to this.
Mm-hmm.
The SSA Juicy Lemon at 0.65. I mean, I think the percentages look really great. The Lime Tahiti Cold Press, 0.85, also looks great. And I think that this one would only need like an overnight, maybe a 2-3 day steep, probably to let some of those alcohol-y notes. I mean, I'm not sure about 0.30% you're going to get that from that Granny Smith, but I think that it'll calm down and blend well after a day or two, just from looking at the recipe and the ingredients in it. What do you think?
It looks good. It looks good. Like
looks like a well-built recipe.
It does. Yeah, it looks very, very well built. You got a mixture of like real natural fruits with a little bit of the sweeter stuff, like with the juicy lemon, and the lime Tahiti cold press. Yeah, it looks great. I like that you use that small amount of the TFA Granny Smith apple to give you that green apple flavor, but then you boosted it instead of bumping it up to where you get alcohol and crappy off notes. You boosted it with the Fuji apple.
I
really
agree
like
because
that.
I think the two of those actually make a pretty good green apple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it looks like it'd be a great green apple. So that's awesome.
And it looks like, and I would say that FA Fuji would probably throw that Granny Smith into a juicier kind of drinky kind of apple,
Yeah, for sure. Good job. And who was this one?
Drip Drop Vape, something like that. I already left.
Okay. I think that's Joshua Hatfield actually, and he just came in. He just came in the chat. He said he was late. He's gonna catch the replay. So good job, Josh. It looks good. And that's everyone that played along. So thank you everyone for playing along with us. That was a lot of fun to see how everybody did things with their mix. It was neat to see a lot of the kind of a similar trend, like using the FA cold press and stuff. So that was fun. Next week's profile. What are we doing next week? Let's see.
That's a good question because I haven't even looked.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's It's toast. James, our tech producer, picked this picture. He doesn't say who submitted it, but to me it looks like toast with cinnamon sugar on it. So that'll be pretty interesting to work on. Toast is hard. There's a couple different flavors that
Buttered toast with cinnamon.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you guys know right now, I'm probably going to go way off the deep end with this one because I refuse to touch bread notes. I get weird flavors from anything bread related in vaping.
Have you tried any of the Wonder Flavors buttered toast?
I've tried lots of breads and they just do not sit well with me in my mouth.
Okay.
I mean, actually, once you add cinnamon and butter to bread, does it actually taste still like bread and it's toasted?
Oh, the note that I get off of bread, you can't miss it.
No. I'm talking about the real thing. When you take bread and you put it in a pan and you toast it and you put some butter on it and you add cinnamon, does it still taste like bread? Not me, because I'm dousing it with stuff.
Oh yeah, when I do cinnamon sugar on toast, I freaking just like I don't shake.
And that wet part of that could actually be maple, or it could be honey, or it could be lots of things.
It could be.
Doesn't necessarily have to be butter.
Yep. You're right. You're right. It's that's why we do these pictures, because they're up for interpretation. So you do you, Lumi. You do you.
Well, Lumi, I'll probably be right there with you. That's why I was throwing that honey idea out there and that maple idea out there.
Sure. All right, guys, let's get on out of here. What do you say?
I say we thank our sponsors and get out. I mean, we've had a full show today.
For sure, absolutely. And guys, if you like us, you like what we do, and you want to support us in a fun, tasty way, head on over to DIYFlavorChaser.com and check out Jen's one-shots. Or if you go to flavorjungle.com, Rin and I have one-shots there as well. We would love it if you want to check us out and throw us some support. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Lavora and Bull City. And Wayne, thanks always for putting us on your podcast network. We really appreciate it so that more people can find us and hang out with us. Everyone who was watching today live, much love to you. It's always fun chatting with you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.